Hey man, did you hear the latest, previously unreleased tracks from Lenny Tristano?
No, man, I have not as of yet heard them. Where did you hear them?
Oh man, there was a 240-hour Tristano marathon on WKCR last week. Of course that meant that they had to play his commercially released albums, 17 times each. Also, his practice sessions, where he plays all the things, in 12 keys at 6 tempos, and his whole major to minor conversion scene, took up about 20 hours. The first track is called Minor 1, followed by Minor 2 and Minor 3, and Georgia on My Minor. These tracks were from a session where Lenny was playing solo piano to the beat of a leaky faucet that he thought was particularly swinging, man. He said it was like the perfect 2 and 4, and that if he could have only found a drummer with time like that, he might have played a few more gigs.
Wow man, that is so fucking deep man. Lenny was so fucking deep man. He was the only one who really felt jazz the way it was meant to be felt. He was so pure man.
Hey man, I really dig what it is that you are saying. I studied for 23 years with someone who studied with one of Lenny's best students, very best student. My teacher plays the bass saxophone, and even though I'm a pianist, I truly believe that he is the right teacher for me, even though he cannot play chords on his instrument, and never plays in clubs, because he doesn't believe in miking his instrument, because it corrupts the purity of his sound.
Wow, that is so fucking deep man. Like when I studied with Warren, man, he had me play the melody of Melancholy Baby at 60 on the metronome, for 8 months. I wrote a line based on the changes. And I put the rests where the notes were, and the notes where the rest were. I reharmed the changes so that every chord had 7 notes. I also started the melody on the 4th beat of the last bar of the tune, instead of on the one of the first measure. I called the line, 4th beat last bar, not 1.
Oh man. Warren was so fucking deep man, he was like Lenny, but on tenor. He even closed his eyes when he played man. And he laid back so far behind the beat. He would just be coming out of the bridge when the rhythm section was playing the turnaround into the next chorus.
Oh man, I wish I had been around like back in the 50s, when there was that amazing scene man. Like everyone was so fucking high all the time, man. And there were a lot of gigs man. I mean Lenny played like 9 gigs in 1955. And then he hit 3 or 4 gigs in 1957.
Yes, that is correct. I read about that in Barry Ulanoff's book. Lenny is my god.
Oh man, Lenny was so deep man, and Barry Ulanoff's thing with Lenny was so deep man. Those guys were all so fucking deep man. Lee also was deep way back when, but he just wasn't as pure as Lenny was, or Warren and Sal. I heard that he played gigs all the time. Like how can a jazz improviser really learn to play with feeling if he is doing so many gigs? The way to get feeling into your playing, man, is to learn 10 tunes. And just keep playing those 10 tunes, man, and only list it to Prez, Roy, Charlie Christian, Bird, Bud, Warren and Lenny.
Yes, I also think that is correct. I now have learned 6 of the Tristano 10, and I'm improvising at 112 on the metronome, using only chord tones, and that fake, bluesy, flatted third lick that all of Lenny's students play. I once counted how many times Lenny played that lick on What Is This Thing? He played it 16 times in a row, and then played 2 more choruses of very even 8th notes, and finished his solo by repeating the fake minor pentatonic bluesy lick 6 more times.
Yeah man, it is so fucking great to be a Tristanoite. I once drove through a hurricane to make it to my lesson, man. Last week my teacher said that I can start to play some limited gigs soon. The gigs can only be 45 minutes long, because I only know 5 tunes. And he says that I should play with the metronome on the gig. I will set it to click on 2 and 4. My teacher says that it is better and more swinging than a drummer.
Cool, very fucking cool, man. I have to go home now, man, because I'm building a large soundproof wooden box in my parents' basement so I can practice in it without disturbing them. I'm 43 years old, and one day, I hope to have my own place. My teacher says that I should be finished with my lessons in 5 or 6 more years, so I will start to look for an apartment then.
Oh man. We are so lucky to be Tristanoites, man.